Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make these wooden name tags on the GlowForge. Let's get started. I use Adobe Illustrator to create my SVGs. You can use whatever design software you are most comfortable with. You need a design software that will create an offset for you, or if you have the premium version of the GlowForge software, you can create an offset with it. But I just created an SVG with the name, and then I created an offset to make the backing for the tag. And like I said, you can use any design software that gives you the ability to create a shadow layer. And then I just made a little round circle with a circle cut out in the middle for the hang tag. Once I had my design, I opened up the GlowForge app and I clicked on the plus sign, clicked on upload, navigate to your file, and it will process it and show it on the material that is in your GlowForge. You can see I'm just using a piece of draft board that is already in the GlowForge, and you can see the different layers of my design here. So I'm just placing these on an empty area of the board just to save material. You can move them wherever you want. The GlowForge knows what material I have because of this UPC code in the lower right. So you can see up in the upper left, it says maple plywood. It read this UPC code and that told it exactly what I had in there. This is material made by GlowForge, which makes it really easy. So all I have to do is click on the layer. So I have the outline layer and I'm going to click cut, and I have the letter layer and I'm going to click cut. I want both of those cut, and because it's GlowForge material, it already knows what settings. I don't have to do anything else other than click print. So that's all there is to it. Very, very simple. If you have an SVG, it already has the layers for you. And again, you can tell it, cut it, engrave it, scan it. Now, I will tell you going forward that if you are using GlowForge materials, you will have to set up your settings, but there are lots of resources to get that information. You can go in the GlowForge community. There's several GlowForge Facebook groups, and they're all extremely helpful in finding materials for non-GlowForge brand materials. So you could just put a piece of plywood in here and cut that, which in hindsight I should have done because the GlowForge material has a sheen to it that makes it very hard to stain. So you can see the entire project is going to take 3 minutes, 3 seconds to cut all of this out. So let's start the GlowForge. So this is the GlowForge material. This is the little QR code that it reads to let it know what exactly you're cutting. It comes pre-masked. All GlowForge material comes pre-masked. So what that means is it's got like a masking tape layer on both the top and the bottom side. And what that does is you'll notice here with some of the other cuts, this is called flashback. So sometimes when you're cutting, you'll get a little bit of flashback, and this just saves your material from getting that flashback or this charring around the edges. So they pre-mask the material. So that means I've already taken it off of most of these, but I just wanted to show you that after I cut these, I do have to remove that masking from the front and the back of both the letters and the base. And I mean, some people cut it without. When you're engraving, it's not so much of a problem, but when you're cutting, the masking is pretty important. And I think I already removed it off of that. So we've got it off of everything else. So I'm going to put on some gloves because I am the world's messiest crafter ever. And I will inevitably get this on me, no matter how small of a project it is. All right. So I've just got some stain here, and I'm not going to stain their names, I don't think. I'm just going to stain the base. So all I'm going to do is just dip it in here. I've just got this setting on a box so that I can protect it, my desktop. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of stain on there and let it set for a moment. If you want to stain the back, be my guest. I'm gonna throw a little bit of stain on the back. So I will tell you, the GlowForge material has a bit of a sheen to it. So you might want to sand this a little bit before applying the stain, just to get it to hold on a little bit more. I'm really not looking for a dark finish. I just want a little bit of contrast. So let's see what we've got. So it's not, the stain's not sticking real well. I think I am going to take a little bit of sandpaper to this and then restain it. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. I'm gonna cover my stain. I've got a sanding block here. I'm just going to sand this just to get that sheen off of it, so that that stain will stick a little bit better. So I've got this sanded pretty well. I've taken that sheen off of the GlowForge product. Again, now if you were using just bare plywood, you wouldn't have to do so much sanding, but the GlowForge material, for whatever reason, does have a sheen to it that makes it pretty difficult to get the stain to stick. But giving it a good sanding, just enough to get that sheen off the edge, will make the stain take hold a lot better. And again, if I wanted a little bit darker, I could do a couple different coats of this, but I'm really just looking to make it slightly darker so that the name will stand out, but I still want it to look pretty rustic. So I'm not looking for a really dark color. So I'm just gonna let this set for a moment and then we're gonna wipe this off. So once you've given it a good sanding and then you've let your stain set, the longer you let it set, the darker it's going to get. You can go ahead and wipe the stain off. And you can see now it's holding that color a lot better. I would recommend, if you really want a nice stain, to use non-GlowForge material, because it is heavily coated with a sheen to it, and it's very hard sometimes to get it to stain, but a little bit of sanding, a little bit of work, you can get it if you want it. And you didn't have to stain this, it was just, I wanted it to have a little bit of contrast from the names. I'm not too worried about the back. I just wanted to give it a little bit of color. Again, you can recoat this and make it even darker, but once you have it coated, set it aside and let it dry for a few minutes. Okay, so now we need to attach the names to the bases. So I've just got them laid on here just so that I get a general idea where I want them. The other thing you can do is have the GlowForge engrave the name on this base, and then you would know exactly where to put it, but this is pretty forgiving design, so I wasn't too concerned about that. I'm just using this Loctite Super Glue Professional. This works really well. So I'm just going to, and you want to go lightly on this, you don't need a ton, and you don't want it to seep out, so I'm just going to dab it on various spots. I think I'm even going to just tap it a little bit just to get some of that extra off, and then I'm just going to place it down. Same with the M. Just takes a little bit. And then with this little dot for the eye, I find tweezers are the best bet. Super cute. All right, let's do Alex. So we're just going to let those dry for a few minutes and then I'll put some ribbons in. So that's it. Really simple project. You could use these for ornaments. You can use them as stocking tags. You could use them for gift tags. All kinds of ideas there for this really simple project with the GlowForge. I hope you guys are enjoying the GlowForge tutorials. If you are, please leave me a comment in the description below the video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell so that you're notified every time there is a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Never stop making. Bye-bye.